All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to another edition of NASCAR 07 on the Mark Martin Revenge Tour NASCAR Nextel Cup Series Custom Schedule season. We are at the Daytona International Speedway for the running of today's race, the running of the Pepsi 400. Gonna try to go for the Daytona sweep with Mark Martin after winning the Daytona 500 to start the season. And not only that, but we're going to find out how hard this race is going to be under the nighttime sky. Of course, in the daytime, we were able to win the race, as I just mentioned, but we were up towards the front, pretty much in the top 5 for most of that race. We just won on a super speedway at Talladega in dominating fashion just 3 races ago as well. Not only getting the win, but leading over 100 laps. 400 miles, 160 laps, full race here today. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and we'll get our Daytona week started. With this race here tonight, this is how we're going to start our summer Daytona weekend. And tomorrow we will be having the NASCAR Xfinity Series live commentary stream. We will also have a Throwback Thursday live stream tomorrow evening before the start of that live commentary stream for the Xfinity Series, so a little doubleheader for you guys on a Friday evening. We'll be watching the 2001 Pepsi 400 tomorrow. Start times will be up in the community tab by the end of the night. And as for Saturday, we've got the Cup race, of course, and even on Sunday having another live commentary stream with the Truck Series racing at Milwaukee in that afternoon event. So big weekend coming up on the channel, and it all starts right here, right now. Without further ado, let's get into qualifying for this race. I would imagine the setup I have in it is going to be where I left off in the Daytona 500. Because we won that race, why not try to qualify with that same setup? So here we go. 2 laps to try to set the quick time for qualifying here tonight for Mark Martin. And then let me know if the volume is A-OK as well. I'll actually pause it when I get to the back straightaway because I might have to adjust my mic a little bit. Pause it real quick. All right, yeah, the mic is working. The mic is on. That's a big plus. Philip Moore, thanks for tuning into the stream also. Two laps to try to set the quick time. This is the warm-up lap, still coming out of the pit lane, trying to get up to speed here for Mark Martin. Purposely drifting to the outside in the middle of turns 3 and 4, trying to get a little bit extra speed here off the high side. And down to the bottom before getting into the tri-oval.
Alright, here we go. Don't hold anything back.
Does Mark Martin have anything for the pole? On the front stretch, he was tracking pretty good, but in the middle of turns 1 and 2, he's losing quite a bit of time. Tells me that the 6 car might have quite a bit of straightaway speed. We'll see which direction the tracker will move. Middle of the back straightaway, he's kind of fluctuating right around 15th or so, picking up a little bit going into turn 3. Definitely going to want to pick up on lap 2. I do not want to start mid-pack. Purposely drift into that middle lane there. Kind of made a late decision to do so. We're going to attempt to try to pick up on lap 2. 21st on that opening lap, so right in the middle of the pack. Didn't run 100% at least through turns 3 and 4. 100% on the throttle, but not my line. A lot better through turns 1 and 2 on that second lap. The back straightaway, he lost a little bit of time on lap 1, and that seems to be the case again on lap 2. A little wide getting into turn 3. And might have a shot at a top 10 still. Through the tri-oval, down to the apron, 48.195. That'll be 15th, so we lost a little bit there on the front stretch. definitely quicker than lap 1. And it'll be the Penske Dodges on the front row. Ryan Newman on the pole. No surprise, the Rocket Man is starting out in front. And then Kurt Busch also qualifying in second. Both those two coming in off a top 5 finish at Richmond last night in our 50% race. So we'll see if we can go for 4 wins in a row. And importantly here, the Daytona sweep for Mark Martin. Ryan Newman leads the field to the green. We are racing at Daytona under the lights. Davion West, Wade Selinsky also welcome into the stream. Martin not taking off well on that restart. At least not initially. Kyle Petty got shuffled out of line there at the front of the field. He's down on the apron as they work their way off of turn 2. Big block by Casey Kane as he nearly turned himself in the middle of the back straightaway. Bounced off Dale Jarrett's race car. Luckily, he didn't wreck. That was a massive block. Petty's still down on the apron for some reason. Now moving back up the racetrack as they get into turns 3 and 4. A very stagnated start. And now we've got more trouble, it looks like, off of turn 4 as a couple cars get together in the pack. And here comes Mark Martin full speed into the back of Michael Waltrip. I thought there was a gap, and there really wasn't one. No caution on that first lap, but everybody was all over the place. Martin somehow gets to 7th, but he hit the back of Waltrip's race car pretty hard. Oh my goodness. They're almost wrecking off turn 2. No. My dog. Hang on. She was scratching at my mic. What's she doing? There we go. I'm the only one at my apartment right now, so I have to watch my sister's dog while I'm trying to stream, which is not the easiest thing in the world. Oh my gosh, it looks like Casey Kane got up into the wall off turn 4 now. I'll tell you what, that was the weirdest start to a Daytona race I've ever seen. Jimmy Johnson getting by Mark Martin. Martin up on that outside lane, trying to give himself a little bit more room. Wants to just sit and draft behind somebody. That's going to be his best chance of trying to get his way through the field. He's on the outside of Dale Jarrett most of the way down that backstretch, trying to stay on the bottom, but he's just really tight in the dirty air to be able to try to stay behind Johnson. In the tri-oval. Martin working at it again. Trying to keep his car down on the bottom of the racetrack again. Track maybe going to have a little bit more grip at night versus the day race at Daytona in the 500 earlier this season. Martin bump drafting Jimmy Johnson down the back straightaway that time. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to make some adjustment changes. This car is a little too tight for my liking. I'm able to stay in the gas at least on relatively fresh tires just 4 laps in. Bit of a bump draft there on the front stretch in the back of Johnson as they tried to catch Tony Stewart. Martin in 8th. Matt Kenseth leads the opening laps of this race. I do believe he led that first lap despite Ryan Newman starting on the pole. Not sure exactly where Kenseth did start, but definitely moving forward. Mark Martin, you got to consider potentially passing Johnson here as he had a run in the tri-oval. That's exactly what he's going to do, and the reason being is because he feels he's close enough to now be able to draft off Tony Stewart. And Stewart into that outside lane in turns 1 and 2. Martin in 7th, right there behind the 20. starting 15th, definitely going to make things a little bit more difficult for Martin to try to get through the field here. With how tight my car is, especially in the dirty air, I really don't like Stewart running the outside. See that slight wall scrape. 6 seconds off the race leader still. As spaced apart as you're going to see the field at the very start of a race. Anywhere, let alone at Daytona, but multiple near crashes at the front of the pack really bottlenecked everything up. They're definitely pack racing in the middle of the running orders, but not right now. At least where we're at. Martin continuously pushing Tony Stewart. Didn't really want to clear him there for 6, but he's going to be able to do it into turn 1 anyway. See if Stewart can get back around him. Mark Martin's hoping he does. There we go. Slide right back in line behind him. Martin's got enough speed to be able to hang with Stewart still, which is good. I mean, those next 3 cars for position aren't that far ahead. The top 2, on the other hand, they have pulled away quite a bit. Rick DeMars, thanks for tuning in. A little late, sure, but I mean, we're only 9 laps in. You haven't really missed... Well, I mean, you missed a lot in the first lap of the race, but beyond that, not so much. Inches from the wall runs Stewart and Martin that time, all the way through 3 and 4. Martin pushing the back of this 20 car. 5 seconds off the race lead now. Martin a lot more aggressive at the bump drafting this time, pretty much all the way through the front stretch. Popping a little bit off the wall there in the middle of the corner. Martin getting a run. He's going to go for it underneath Stewart, trying to mitigate a side draft as quickly as possible. He's going to be able to clear Stewart as he close enough to Kurt Busch. Kurt in the bottom lane, which is where Martin would like for the car in front of him to run. Martin clipped the apron and scrapes the wall. And that was a mistake he did not need. And Stewart's going to have a good chance to get back around the 6 again, which the 6 is pretty much just going to end up letting him go. Has to get in line as quickly as possible there. Don't want to risk losing Stewart. Hopefully Stewart decides to run the inside lane this time around. Looks like somebody is on pit road with an engine failure here in the early laps of this race, just 11 laps in. And Kurt Busch has kind of caught those next 2 cars up ahead of him. Four and a half seconds off the lead. We were 6 seconds back, so we're definitely getting some of that time back. Kurt and Kyle Busch side by side for position. That'll allow for Martin and Stewart to close the gap even quicker. That won't help. So close. Just got to make sure Stewart doesn't draft away. Mark Martin. Kurt Busch made a nice pass on Kyle. Kyle's still kind of running the outside, and he's losing those cars just up ahead of him. Martin going to go to the outside of Stewart into the tri-oval and draft behind Kyle Busch instead. Oh, he got into the back of Busch. He was trying to bump draft him, and the 5 got a little squirrely there. And now Martin going up the racetrack, trying to get him back of the 2. Stewart trying to get back alongside the 6 of Martin. Got underneath him, couldn't clear him, losing ground. Martin to the inside of Kurt Busch. And now behind Sadler. So Martin's made his way to 4th. Sadler moving to the outside lane. Might have to get more aggressive with the bump drafting again. Oh, man. It would be nice if they decided to run the bottom. I mean, we're not even pulling away from Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart right now. Really need that 38 car to run the inside. Oh my goodness, this dog is not cooperating with me. Come on, get out of the way. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Back off. Guys, well, I'm gonna show you guys a camera angle here of what I'm dealing with. No! What are you doing? Oh my goodness. This is what I'm dealing with right now. Could I have the camera on? Yes. The reason why I don't have the camera on when I'm doing these video game streams right now. Here we go. Here's me. I am on the floor. I'm literally sitting on the floor in my living room. The dog is like right at my feet. Now usually I'm in my room doing these, but there just isn't that much room. And she is trying to like get all up in my grill while I had the, oh my goodness. What is going on here? What is going on? There's nothing in my hand. This is a pain. So this is why I don't have the camera on. Oh my goodness. All right, I just figured I'd show you that because now you understand. I've gotten questions about why I haven't had the camera on. All right, let's get back into this. Hopefully all goes well. I don't know how I didn't lose control there. I'm going to be completely honest. I felt her paw like scratching at my hand while I was in the middle of the corner. We held on. We're still making ground on the leaders. I'm going to bump draft Sadler down the back straightaways. Back straightaway every lap that we get there. 2.3 seconds behind the leaders, so Martin is definitely closing in on his teammate Matt Kenseth, and it does look like that second place car is closing in as well. Martin had to lift. Their car got really tight into turn 1, and he almost got into the wall. I don't know how he was able to catch that car at these speeds. Very fortunate that there isn't a giant pack he's in right now, because that would have been disastrous. And also fortunate Kurt Busch was somewhat still behind him. That allowed him to stay behind Sadler's draft on the backstretch, so they lost a little bit more time, but hopefully we don't get too tight again this time around. looks like fun times. It is something, I'll tell you that much. Didn't want to pass Sadler there either. I just had too much of a run, didn't want to lift. Kurt Busch was running the bottom. Sadler gonna get back to the inside of the 6. No! What are you? Oh my goodness. Is this what you want? Oh my god. The amount of times I've had to deal with this dog during streams the last like week or so. Again, it isn't mine. That's the problem we have right now. They're fun times when I'm not streaming. I will say that much. I have no clue why she just barked, but, yeah. Alright, halfway out of field at this point in the run, lap 19. Martin gonna push Elliott Sadler. Finally had a big enough of a run that he went for the push that time. And got it. I think Sadler and Martin can definitely get to the leaders before we get to green flag pit stops. We're pacing pretty well right now. 1.3 seconds off the lead. And Kurt Busch is staying with these guys. It's almost like a 3-car tandem. Derek Booth, welcome into the stream. The car about got up into the wall there in second. I think it's Ryan Newman, assuming he qualified on the pole and just kind of stayed behind Kenseth after Kenseth passed him early. And again, Sadler gets pushed by Mark Martin. Now the 6 and the 38 are starting to pull the 2 a little bit more. As they reel in, Kenseth and Newman up ahead. "20 laps in the books at Daytona." Newman bounces off the wall for sure that time through 1 and 2. As Sadler and Martin close the gap again. By the way, can you hear her running in the background? Like, I'm curious if the footsteps are picking up on the mic. Just zooming through the house right now. LV Barkley, thanks for tuning in also. Yeah, full-length race. Won the full Daytona 500, trying to win the Pepsi 400 now. Big run for Mark Martin as he gets underneath of Ryan Newman. Can't clear yet. He's close. Sadler behind him. Really wants to clear him, but he can't do it off turn 2. Newman is still there. Kenseth goes to the outside, which is pulling the 12 just a little bit. Newman is being side drafted by Martin. Martin's got to go down to block the 38 now. So close. Just couldn't quite take over second. That goes to show how strong Ryan Newman's race car is. Sadler right behind Mark Martin. Can Martin keep up with Newman? Looks as if he's got a good opportunity to do so. Into turns 1 and 2. And a run by Martin again, pulling out of line on Newman. Not a lot of drafting help. Sadler's a little bit further behind. Passes Newman. Newman drops to the bottom, it looks like, going into the corner, which may help Mark Martin get to the lead. Clear high in the middle of 3 and 4 as he goes wide. Newman's going to get underneath the 6. The 6 is up against the walls. He got tight again, and Newman gets into him. There's contact off turn 4, and it looks like it's going to be the 6 with the lead still. That's one way to get 5 bonus points. I mean, I stayed against the wall when Newman made contact with us. Looked like he got tight too, and it was just 2 cars going for the same spot at the same time, and Mark Martin ends up with the lead. Everybody else kind of brake checked behind. Surprised that wasn't the first caution. Martinez, thanks for tuning in tonight. Looked like they were about 3 wide off turn 4. Kenseth with a run to the outside lane. Martin down to block the 38 again. We are at lap 25 in the Pepsi 400. Outside lane faded quite a bit off turn 2 there. Well, the 638 and the 20 on the bottom lane. We're able to get by both Kenseth and Kurt Busch on the back straightaway. Mir driving on the 38 car directly behind us. Sadler still trying to take his first lead of the race. I don't know if Newman led the first lap or not. Outside of potentially him leading the first lap, it's been all Kenseth and then Mark Martin as of the last couple laps. Stewart to the bottom. Martin almost blocked him, which that would have not ended well, as Martin just probably would have turned himself. And Tony Stewart going to try to receive 5 bonus points for leading his first lap now. Big run for Mark Martin into turn 3. And he's going to try to disallow Stewart from potentially leading his first lap. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to do it or not. Nope, Stewart gets a second wind off turn 4, and Tony Stewart will lead his first lap of the night. Martin again, going to go for it. Underneath Stewart. All clear this time. And stays wide in the middle of 1 and 2. This dog keeps licking my leg. My leg is drenched. She's just got a drink of water too, so it's that it's extra wet. Goodness. This has been a grind these first 28 laps, let me tell you. A lot of it you guys cannot see on camera. Quarter of a tank of gas left at this point in the run. Oh boy, 3 wide. That was dangerous. Oh my goodness. I don't know if Stewart got in the wall or not, but Mark Martin and Tony Stewart definitely made contact. Kenseth put him 3 wide, and Martin tried to hold the middle, and he washed up just a little bit too far wide there off turn 2. And now Kurt Busch may have rubbed fenders with Tony Stewart as well off turn 4, with Stewart still stuck in the outside lane. Kenseth led that lap. Mark Martin back to the lead into turn 1. Oh my gosh. It was terrible. Do that on a teammate. at the start-finish line. Kenseth led that lap, as he has led the most here in the early going. This 5-car pack's putting on a race. Martin and Kenseth controlling the lanes. Martin side drafting the 17, and the 2 kind of squeezing right behind the 6. Still above the 38, and Martin's clear into turn 3. Kenseth, Kurt Busch may have made contact off turn 4. Sadler had a run on Martin, but he had nowhere to go with it. Now he'll go to the outside. Mark not going to block him all the way up there, at least not yet. Now he'll try. That didn't work, and he got put right in the sucker hole. Stewart to the bottom. Martin was stuck in the middle. Sadler out to the lead. A lot of lead changes all of a sudden just within the last 10 laps alone. Who will lead this lap at the line? Martin or Sadler? Martin by inches. Elliott Sadler very close to leading his first lap. Have to wait and try it again. Martin led that lap, but he couldn't clear him. Nobody has made their green flag stop yet, but we are getting close to green flag pit stops. Martin got really tight. Kurt Busch is coming in. What a run by Mark Martin in the middle of the corner there. Still led that lap. One of our teammates, Greg Biffle, also in the pits. He's not giving Sadler a lot of room there. Just don't quite get off the exit of the corners very well to be able to get him. Kenseth coming into the pits. Sadler led that lap that time. Definitely got to watch those pitting cars down on the apron. Blend it back into traffic. We're going to pit at lap 35. So we'll stay out this time by and then we'll pit. Looks like Elliott Sadler going to stay out of the pits again as well. Just cannot clear this 38 car right now. Now we're able to off turn 2. Mark Martin back to the lead again. Sadler looks to be pitting this time. Mark Martin going to block him all the way to the inside. And has to stay low because Mark Martin's coming in this time. Trying to brake a lot later than Elliott Sadler. He has to lock the brakes up to get to pit road speed, but he did have a pretty clean pit road entry nevertheless. And it will be right side tires only, and no adjustments here for Mark Martin for his first stop of the day. Oh, wow. Caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. Our first yellow of the day. First caution of the race. Mark Martin in the pits. I think Martin's going to be able to stay in the lead. Means he was on pit road when the caution came out. Kind of similar to what happened with William Byron at Watkins Glen. Yeah, somebody just lost it. Unless Kyle Petty turned the 31, Jeff Burton. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he was in a different lane. Definitely didn't turn him. Jeff Burton spins off of turn 4, it looks like, and that brings out our first caution. Martin will get to hang on to the lead virtue of the yellow. And now we get to try it again. I need to get a stool. Hang on. My knees are killing me on the floor. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I think I mentioned it before on the channel, but I messed my ankle up playing basketball a long time ago, but in high school. And anyway, when I was fighting against the odds, I'll tell you what, this would be something. I need to make some adjustments here. I need to get to the couch somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but we're gonna get there. Bear with me for one moment. I think we're going places now. As long as the dog doesn't move, we're gonna be in business. It's a big if. Oh my goodness. My apologies, everybody, by the way. My apologies. All right. Let me know if you can hear me. Make sure everything's still plugged in. Appreciate all of you guys staying tuned. Let's see, Michael Turner, welcome to the stream also. I think you, my ankle feels better. Oh no, it just fell asleep on me, that's all. Just gotta let it wake up. While that goes on, I'm sitting now, so we're good. To the restart. Green flag back in the air. Mark Martin get a restart out in front of the field here. Tony Stewart trapped a lap down. Quite a few cars a lap down with that caution coming out in the middle of green flag pit stops. Had that happen a couple times at Talladega. Our first caution in the middle of green flag stops here. And get the restart at lap 40. Kevin Harvick to the lead there very quickly. Jamie McMurray to second. Sterling Marlin to third. And now Mark Martin in fourth. Those three cars pulling away. Oh my goodness. 3 wide middle for Mark Martin. Hanging on to it, I think. Definitely didn't get a lot of help on that restart. Things were going good, and now we're going backwards. Ends of the lap down. Nobody's working with us. We just keep getting split 3 wide by anybody and everybody. A lot of lap cars around us now. Harvick leads. Now we're 3 wide on the bottom, but still nobody's... Now Jeremy Mayfield's going down there to work with us, but we need somebody in front of us too. Nope, Gordon going to the outside. I was hoping he would move to the bottom. That would have helped us quite a bit. All right, finally cleared Kenza. Took us a couple laps to get going there. Whoops. Yeah, Gordon running the top is not going to help us. Don't trap Jeff Gordon down the backstretch. Come on, Jeff, go to the bottom. Go to the bottom, Jeff. He ain't moving. Gordon likes that high line. Martin trying to just get him to go to the inside, and he is not budging. 1.7 seconds off the lead. I mean, we're not that far back. Oh, Gordon in the wall that time. Martin kept it off the wall barely. Scrubbed a little bit of speed off of these guys' lap time that last time by. Mark Martin to push Jeff Gordon again on the back straightaway. Sterling Marlin, Tony Stewart just up ahead. Martin to the inside of Gordon. Burped the throttle a little bit for getting underneath him. I don't think he's going to be able to clear him at all. Stewart slingshots by Marlin. Marlin again in third. Good run for that 14 team going on right now. Not gaining much on the leaders, but definitely gaining on the 14 and the 20 just up ahead. Trying to get a draft off of the 14. Cleared Jeff Gordon. They're side drafting each other just enough there in the middle of the corner. It's allowing Martin to not only clear Jeff Gordon, but start to reel those cars back in again. And he will work with the lead lap car of Sterling Marlin, the 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Knows a thing or two about going to victory lane at the World Center of Racing. He may have an outside chance of doing it again today, running in P3, 45 laps in. Probably Marlin's best run of the season so far with his new team. Of course, drove that Coors machine, the Silver Bullet, as most recent as our last season on these EA Sports games. Mark Martin to push the 14 car of Sterling Marlin down the back straightaway. Really trying to get these two cars away from the pack of cars behind him. Jamie McMurray up there in second, not able to really keep in touch with Kevin Harvick much. Marlin up against the wall. Such a difficult line to try to run. Another quick push. I mean, Marlin was running the bottom there initially, not anymore. Now Martin got up against the wall a little bit. So close to being able to draft off of Jamie McMurray. We're going to try it. Martin slingshots off of Marlin. Takes away third. McMurray down on the bottom. And now the two Roush Fenway teammates of Jamie McMurray and Mark Martin will work together. Tony Stewart underneath the 14. He's trying to keep up with these guys. He wants to unlap himself in any way possible. Six-tenths of a second now behind Kevin Harvick. 26 and the 6 try to close. Mark Martin has not led a lot of laps today. Kenseth has still led the most, although Harvick is definitely starting to close in that most laps led since this restart. Jamie McMurray going to get pushed now for Mark Martin. Mark got to go for second underneath his teammate. Remember, Mark went right side tires only. He was already on pit road, so had to commit to the right side tires only when that caution came out still. So on the older left side tires, he is going to be able to take the lead into turn one from Harvick. His teammate McMurray helps with the push down on the inside of the racetrack. We will get to lap 50 at the start-finish line this time by. Martin leads. 50 laps in, one caution today. That was at lap 36. Trying to keep Harvick behind him, not really able to do that right now. Sound like McMurray got up into the wall off of turn 2. Mark Martin getting another run at Harvick. Deep dive into turns 3 and 4. Takes Harvick's line away. Oh boy! Took his own line away. Driving up that wide. Stayed in the lead. Only need to lead the final lap. This is true. I would like a chance at the most points in this race for leading the most and getting the win, which is why we're battling up at the front right now and trying to lead as many as we can. Definitely don't have as fast of a car as what I did at Talladega. Talladega, I was able to control the pack for the most part. I have not been able to do that whatsoever the couple times I've gotten to the lead. Side draft really working well. It is nice that we have a teammate up here that we're able to work with McMurray on the lead lap. And McMurray slides into P2 after Harvick might have scraped the wall. Jeff Gordon's in the mix, but remember, he is a lap down in the free pass position and trying to get back on the lead lap. Stay committed to one lane there. Martin stayed committed to the bottom in front of Kevin Harvick, trying to side draft Jamie McMurray. Looking for the push needed from the 29, but the 24 of Gordon now goes behind McMurray. Oh boy. Oh man, the teammates get together and Harvick on the bottom takes the lead. Martin's car is still tight, didn't make any adjustments at the right side tire pit stop. Hate to see teammates get together like that. Murray didn't lose a whole lot of ground, but they did both lose the lead temporarily to Harvick before Martin takes the lead back again in turns 1 and 2. Ton of lead changes in this race. Not one driver is able to just control the pack. A lot of comers and goers. We are still a couple pit stops away here from the end. I would imagine it's going to be a 4-stop race today with everybody pitting just shy of that first caution, or we're on pit road when the caution came out. Jamie McMurray, big block by Mark Martin. And there's Harvick now to the inside. Oh boy, not a lot of room there. Dale Jarrett? Is that Bobby Labonte in the mix? Where are all these cars coming from? Tony Stewart? Everybody wants to get in contention. 3 wide for second on the back straightaway. Tony Stewart to the bottom of Harvick and McMurray. Will they make it all the way through 3 and 4? They're 3 by 3. They're a couple rows deep. Labonte slides up into that second groove now. Tony Stewart's got to run. Trying to get back on the lead lap. We know he's got a quick car. We're just going to try to keep as many cars behind us as possible. A wild start in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Halfway out of gas during our second fuel run. It's a lot harder to control the pack with more cars in it as well. But also for those cars further back, it's hard for them to break free to get enough of a run on their own to be able to pull out a line, make a pass, and have somebody go with them. Oh my goodness, there was no turn there. Never lost the lead though. Dale Jarrett's a lap down, then Jarrett got up into the wall too. Martin getting a pole off the 88 car. Definitely boxed in. Harvick not giving Mark Martin a lot of room. Oh, McMurray squeezes the 6. Oh no! And they tagged each other, and around goes McMurray in the tri-oval. There was not much of a push there, but it was just enough that it tagged McMurray. It sent him around, and we are under a caution flag for the second time tonight as the 2 Roush Fenway cars get together. I mean, Martin kind of got through cleanly there, but McMurray took a pretty hard hit into the outside safer barrier. And they were racing so aggressively there, you had to imagine something like that was going to happen, and it did. And we're under caution now for the second time. This will lead us into green, or well, not green flag pit stops, but our second set of pit stops today. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for Mark Martin in the 6 here. A wild race so far at Daytona in the Pepsi 400, and I'm sure that will continue. Especially the later and later we get. I mean, we're not even halfway yet, and we've already seen a lot. We haven't seen the big one, but surprised there were not more cars collected in that incident. Not going to win the race out of the pits. Kevin Harvick did. And that's a big caution, I think, for Dale Jarrett, who I believe was on the lead lap when that caution came out. He was definitely ahead of the leaders. Lap 62 restart, green flag back in the air. Mark Martin going to get to the bottom pretty quickly. Just doesn't seem to have that restart gear in it today, unfortunately. just takes me so long to get up to speed, and we just can't keep up with the cars up ahead of us. It wasn't this bad at Talladega a couple races ago, but it's pretty bad here tonight. Just trying to get through the gears. 3 wide up there at the very front of the field. And I'm sure they're 2 and 3 wide back behind us, and there's a caution off turn 4. Somebody crashed at the back of the pack. Our third caution, back-to-back yellows here, and it looked like Ryan Newman and Bobby Labonte get together in the middle of the pack, but nobody else collected. Well, we'll try it again. Oh my goodness. Dog tried to jump between the stool I have the mic on. Give me one quick second. She kind of knocked some things out of place here. Oh my goodness. She's running away when I try to pick her up. All right, we're gonna try this again. I know, right? This is so stupid. I shouldn't have streamed this. Like, this is, I really wanted to. I kind of forgot my sister had to work tonight. I paused it because she wanted it up on the couch. I put her up on the couch, and then she jumps down as soon as I unpause it. Oh my goodness, big block there on Michael Waltrip. Just cannot take off on these restarts. Trouble off turn 4. Oh, both in front and behind. I saw them wrecking out of the rear view, and then I saw smoke in front of us. Martin got into the back of somebody. I couldn't tell who. That was similar to what happened on the first lap of the race at the very beginning. I saw the rear view they were wrecking, and I looked up ahead, and they were about ready to wreck in front of us. Going through a trail of smoke.
Alright, interval between you and the leader is 4.5.
3.3 seconds. That's how far off the lead we are. We just had pit stops during the second to last yellows. That second caution just before lap 60, so got quite a ways of this run left yet. Got Matt Kenseth closing in. We haven't seen him in a minute. It's definitely going to be a grind to try to win tonight. We will take our first field pass of the race. We will swap to McMurray in the 26, who is in second place towards the front of the field. And trying to stay within reach of Kevin Harvick. And he has done a good job of that so far. Even with that contact during that second caution. Oh my goodness, he tried to take the lead. He stayed in the gas, drove both him and Harvick up into the wall. That wasn't the way to do it. And here comes Sadler, trying to get back in contention as well. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a little too aggressive there for me. Oh my goodness. I'm all over the place. Well, now Elliott Sadler leads. I think I led that lap with McMurray at the line, and if I'm not mistaken, that was his first lap led of the race. So at least we got the 5 bonus points, but now it's the 38 of Elliott Sadler who leads. You know, now I just... No, you know what? I think it was 2007. I was about to say that I just realized that I think Jamie McMurray actually did win this race in real life, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was 2007. No, it would have been 2006 because Kyle Busch was in the 5 still. And that's who he beat. Yeah, so I didn't even think about that until just now. McMurray having such a good race. Maybe his best chance at a win yet this season, and it's in a race he actually won in real life this year in this 26 car. Well, he remains in P2. Bump draft and push Scott Riggs on the back straightaway. Somebody down on the apron up ahead. Don't think it's somebody that blew an engine though, because they're going past the pit lane. Jimmy Johnson, I think. Looked like Jimmy Johnson. Problems for JJ. I can't keep it off the wall tonight, my goodness. That's exactly what I meant right there. It was 2007, but wasn't Casey Mears? Oh, he was in the 25 still. That's right. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I kind of forgot he was in the 25 before the 5. Like, I always remember him winning the Coke 600 that year. For whatever reason, it doesn't register in my head. He was in the 25 car. Yeah, you're right. So I had it right the first time. Sadler getting held up. And here comes McMurray to the lead on the back straightaway. Sadler couldn't block enough, and it looked like somebody who was down a cylinder holds Elliott Sadler up and allows for the 26 to get to the lead. He'll swap back to Matt Kenseth at the start-finish line this time by. Oh no, McMurray gets tagged by Sadler. so far sideways, and Sadler's got the lead right back again. And we will swap to Greg Biffle next instead in 6th. I don't know what that was all about, but it's like a fantasy driver. It is that slow car. I couldn't tell who that was the first time we passed by. Biffle gets by the 137 and now sits behind Tony Stewart. I don't know. I mean, it didn't look like McMurray really pulled down to try to block Sadler. It looked like Sadler just ran right into his left rear. A lot of contact both with the wall and with other cars, it seems like, during the course of this run. Cars One Boy, thanks for tuning in. I mean, considering Matt Kenseth, I think, is just up ahead of us still, too. I think that means all the Roush cars are in the top 5. Oh, no, I was about to say top 5 once we pass Tony Stewart there, but Stewart not on the lead lap. Kind of forgot about that. Biffle going 3 wide to the bottom. And that's actually Kyle Busch. Not Matt Kenseth just up ahead. Harvick was a spot, so that moves Biffle to P5. I'm not sure where Kenseth's at exactly. Thought he might have been up here. Mark Martin has caught his teammate Jamie McMurray. And Greg Biffle trying to get up there with both of them. Pulls in quick as he bump drafts Kyle Busch getting into turn 3. That might push those cars out a little too far ahead of the Biff. We'll see if he's going to be able to hold on. Close. It looks like he will be able to hold with him. We are so close to the halfway mark here tonight. Kyle Busch blocking all over the front stretch. And he got rocketed right ahead of Mark Martin off the front bumper of the 16 there. I made contact with myself. All right, to Matt Kenseth we go. And he is a lot deeper in the field, so he's a lap down, which I did not realize till just now. So Matt Kenseth's a lap down in 26th, as we are at lap 80. I'm not even sure how many cars are in the lead lap, so I have no clue where Kenseth's going to have to get to the free pass spot. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. GMS closing shop for the Truck Series at the end of the season. Stinks to see one of the mainstays, one of the bigger teams, of course, in the Truck Series closing down. I understand the reasoning why for wanting to put more focus on the Cup program, but still. Halfway home tonight in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Jackson Thomas welcome into the stream. Kenseth passing Kurt Busch for position. And Jeremy Mayfield right in front of us. Mayfield moving up off the bottom. Kenseth side drafting. And that spot was, or that pass I guess, was for position. Kenseth quickly closing on Casey Mears in the 42. We'll swap back to Mark Martin at the start-finish line. Mark Martin is still up there with that group of 4 as he sits in 5th. McMurray, Biffle, his 2 teammates, and then Kyle Busch. Biffle to the inside of McMurray. Martin to the inside of Busch. And now McMurray. Might work with the 16 of Biffle to get up there. A little scrape into the wall. Looked like for Jamie Mack. Martin going to get by Biffle for second, it looks like, into turn 1. Mark Martin trying to lead the charge. And I'm just going to alternate through the other drivers one more time in this race when we get back to the start-finish line. This time, big block there for Martin on Biffle. Lost a little bit of that drafting help for now. Two seconds behind Elliott Sadler. Kenseth to 23rd. 2 fantasy drivers just in front of him. Looks like we'll go with Elliott Claybrooks. Rather pick the car on the bottom if I had to pick one or the other. And that is exactly why we did what we did. Truck Series races the last? Are you talking about this weekend? It would be. Yeah, I don't know why they're I mean, I know why they're racing on a Sunday in Milwaukee for TV scheduling purposes, so they wouldn't run a doubleheader with the Cup Series being on a different racetrack. Probably sell more tickets at Milwaukee Mile as well for a Sunday afternoon event like that rather than a Saturday night. Well, they couldn't do Saturday night anyway with Daytona going on Saturday night for the Cup Series. They wouldn't run them simultaneously, so. And Friday night's the Xfinity race. They were going to have to do it during the afternoon at some point. So they chose Sunday. Sunday scheduling being wide open for NASCAR otherwise. Kenseth to 21st. All over the back of Michael Waltrip. Of a bigger group of cars just up ahead of the 55 and the 17. Everybody will have to make one more pit stop before the end of this race. I would like to think one more stop should be good enough to make it to the end, but at the same time, when that last caution came out, We might still be... Well, we only pitted twice, I think, technically. Yeah, so we're still 2 more. It was a 4-stop race. I was thinking we pitted 3 times for some reason, but that's not the case. Wall trip out of line. Or Kenseth out of line. A wall trip, I should say. Oh, my goodness. 3 wide. That fantasy driver, that slow car, was holding everybody up. Kenseth was down on the apron there. He was out of the gas a few different times trying to hold that line. As he drifts back up, he obviously loses the 2 cars just ahead of him, but he does move to 16th. And we'll make the switch to Jamie McMurray, who has lost the 3 cars ahead of him of Biffle, Martin, and Kyle Busch. Murray's going to start to go backwards now. .7 seconds behind Elliott Sadler. Sadler leading a lot of laps in this race here in the middle going. Sadler with 1 win on the season so far. Looking for a 2nd tonight. We're already coming up on 70 laps to go this time by. This will definitely put us in the window to make it our 2 stops from here on out. Considering we were able to go 35 laps on that opening run in this race and got that first caution at lap 36. All 3 yellows have come out since then. Lap car of Scott Riggs closing to the back bumper of Jamie McMurray. And quickly going to the inside. McMurray going to let that lap car go. Try to catch the draft behind him. Sterling Marlin closing in. We know he's still on the lead lap and in the top 10, looking for 5th now. Don't know if McMurray's actually going to be able to keep up with Scott Riggs. The 14 right on his back bumper definitely helped him out a little bit. And it does look like he's barely going to be able to stay with Riggs. Looks like they're going to catch that slow fantasy driver just up ahead. Murray sees that. He pulls out of line on the 10. He's going to try to pick the 10 car behind. Oh, a wall scrape. I think that might be Denny Hamlin in the 11. Was it Hamlin the whole time? And I'm just now realizing it? I didn't realize it was Denny Hamlin the whole time that was doing that. Plus there's 2 cars that are slow now. I thought it was like the 169 car earlier. I'm not gonna lie, that's got me a little confused now. Well, Denny Hamlin's definitely slow. Leave it to Denny. All right, now to Greg Biffle, who remains in 2nd place. Kyle Busch 3rd, Mark Martin 4th. And of course, the race leader is Elliott Sadler. Again, 2 pit stops to make it from here to the end. Blocking Kyle Busch for right now. Sadler pulling to the bottom. I think he might be pitting this time. If he does, that gives the lead to Biffle. We'll see. Yeah, Elliott Sadler coming in from the lead. It looks like Kyle Busch going to also pit, so the Roush Fenway teammates of Greg Biffle and Mark Martin stay on the track. This will be the first lap led for Biffle all night. So 5 bonus points for the 16, as we are at 66 laps to go. And remember, we did have a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops earlier in the race. A lot of smoke off turn 4. Looking up at the track map just to make sure there was nobody on the track very slow in front of us. There was not. And that could have been the 4th caution of the race and the 2nd caution during green flag pit stops, but it was not. We continue to stay green. Greg Biffle continues to lead. We will swap back to Mark Martin at the start-finish line this time by. So we know Biffle will stay out this time. Trying to get a little draft there off Kyle Busch in the 5. We're going up and lapping him to the outside. Mark Martin will not pit this time, so we will definitely make the swap back to the 6 at the start-finish line. Oh, Biffle! Gets creamed by a lap car coming out of the pits, and Mark Martin barely misses him to the outside. Who was that was down on the bottom? Biffle was trying to pass the slow lap car, the 169, who was down a cylinder and slammed right into the back of Michael Waltrip in the process as he spun across the racetrack. Mark Martin barely missed him, and we're under caution for the 4th time, and again it is during green flag pit stops, which will trap even more cars a lap down. Oh my goodness. Well, we can make a 4-tire stop now, which means I'm definitely going fuel only to the end because we're going to have probably just over 20 laps the next run. There's a lot of damage on Biffle's car. JC1424, thanks for tuning in. I actually did have the face cam on for a little bit. I was trying to show you guys exactly why I didn't have the face cam on. Especially tonight with where I'm not even in my room to do this stream tonight. McMurray wins the race off pit road again. But I was going to say, I don't know who would have stayed out to get in front of us there. Looks like Elliott Sadler. I think he's still on the lead lap even after short pitting. Martin will be in 5th, green flag back in the air. There is not many cars on the lead lap anymore, and we are down to just 60 laps to go in this race. 60 laps remain. And Martin really stalled out on that restart. He got it in the back of Jeff Green when he tried to pull to the bottom, and it costed him. Waltrip's still in the race, and I saw Greg Biffle out of the rear view, so he's still in the race. So the definite plan is going to be to take fuel only on the next pit stop. I lose too much track position if I lose one spot off pit road. I just cannot keep up with these guys on the restart. We fall a couple seconds back and have to play catch up, and it takes like half the run to catch up. So I think even if we get a caution where we have to pit under yellow for the final time, I think I'm going fuel only and just trying to get track position late in the race. Especially at that point, because we're going to have, if it's close to the end of the run again, we're going to have like 20 laps left. Dale Jarrett leads for the first time today as the 3-time Daytona 500 winner, trying to win the Pepsi 400. He may have a decent shot to do so. Got to the inside of Gordon, but he's not going to have much to go here. He can keep up with Michael Waltrip. Might have something. Martin's got his teammate Greg Biffle right behind him, but we have a caution off turn 4 again. Our 5th caution of the night. And this time it looked like Joe Nemechek was involved. And it looked like him and Robbie Gordon got together. So Robbie Gordon and Joe Nemechek bringing out caution number 5 in this race. Which means we'll stay out of the pits again. Still outside the fuel window. There are not many cars on the lead lap. Now, they did give the free pass to somebody and allowed for at least one other car to get back on the lead lap. And we are down to 55 laps to go now with the green flag back in the air. Martin into the back of Kenseth. And that's going to stall him out, very similar to when he pushed Michael Waltrip on that last restart. Trying to stay in the share draft. They need things to shake up off turn 2 for Martin to have a better chance of trying to stay with those cars. It's not going to happen. He sees Greg Biffle coming up the inside. He's willing to work with his teammate again. Biffle wrecked while leading, bringing out the 4th caution. Contact there with Jeff Gordon. Gordon got by as well. Martin couldn't work with Biffle, at least not yet. Biffle's quickly reeling in those cars. It seems like he hasn't lost a lot of speed despite the fact that he got that vicious accident. I mean, it was a super hard impact for both him and Waltrip. I'm surprised both those cars are still in the race. Jeff Burton right behind Mark Martin. Is that going to be enough for Martin to stay with Jeff Gordon in front of him? I mean, Gordon's getting a lot of draft off of Biffle. A couple other cars up there. Sterling Marlin's still in contention in this one, unless he's a lap down now too, which could be possible. And we now have just 53 laps to go. We're actually kind of catching these guys. They're racing 2 and 3 wide, and it's allowing for Mark Martin to close the gap. And Jeff Burton still staying with the 6. Big run off turn 2 here. Mark Martin's going to have a chance to get to this group. And it looks like we have a new leader for the first time today. The 43 car for RPM of Bobby Labonte is out in front at Daytona. Down on the inside lane goes Mark Martin. Both Gordon and Marlin a lap down. Casey Mears a lap down there as well. Matt Kenseth up in the mix. Martin staying with Biffle. Biffle down on the bottom still. Kenseth's a lap down also still, which he was prior to the last caution. Jeff Green, who had a 3rd place finish at Talladega, at the front of the pack. And we're about to see if he's on the lead lap or not. And he is not. He's a lap down. So a lot of lap cars getting passed by Biffle and Martin here, but they're working together to catch the leaders at the front of the field. Coming up on 51 to go this time by. Laps counting down quickly. Martin underneath Biffle. Obviously that's for position. Now under McMurray. Won the race off pit road, got the restart with the lead the last time, and Martin is gaining ground. Both the Robert Yates Fords are up in contention of Sadler and Jarrett. Martin going to try to pass them both 3 wide for 2nd on the back straightaway. He'll clear Jarrett. Jarrett's going to pull in line though behind the 38. The 43 down to the bottom, just enough to help the 6 of Martin move into P2. And Jarrett crisscrosses underneath the 38. Sadler hits the wall off turn 4. Biffle clears him. And Bobby Labonte got way out ahead of the pack off turn 4. Here comes Martin in the tri-oval. Just ran his fastest lap of the race. And he goes for the lead with 50 to go into turn 1. And he's got the lead. Martin's clear. Mark Martin leads at Daytona in the Pepsi 400. Still one pit stop left. And even though we're getting close to the end with just 50 remaining, we still have a lot of racing left. 3 wide for second. And Biffle into second place, 1-2 at the further field for Roush Fenway Racing, which is how they finished at Talladega, with Martin winning and Kenseth second. Will be the same for the 400 rather. Elliott Sadler, who has probably led the most laps so far today. He gets into Mark Martin. Martin up against the wall. And Labonte's back in the lead again. That's the second time Sadler drove into the left rear corner panel of a Roush car at the front of the field. He did it with McMurray earlier, and now he did it with Mark Martin. I mean, I don't know if he's trying to bump draft us or what's going on. I mean, we obviously saw him do that to McMurray earlier in the race. And now he did the same thing here with Mark. Mark slapped the wall, though, and it allowed for Bobby Labonte to get by, and everybody else is still held up behind. Labonte's got to be loving this. But those two slow cars that are down a cylinder, the back of the pack, I'm just going to try to stay in front of this group of cars for right now. Although it's not going to be easy. Sadler gets to the inside of Mark Martin. And clears him for second. Try to draft with Elliott. We still have to alternate through the different camera angles a couple times in this race today. Not done that yet. Two seconds off the lead. Bobby Labonte closing in on the 169 and then the 11 of Hamlin, who are the two cars down a cylinder in this race, lacking engine / horsepower. Oh, contact there with Sadler. Labonte definitely got held up, and Sadler brake checked way early. Big run to the outside for Mark Martin. Sadler follows the 6. And Martin going to try to just stay ahead of the 38 now. He's less than a second behind Bobby Labonte. Labonte's catching Denny Hamlin at the end of the front stretch into turn 1. Hamlin definitely slowed Labonte up quite a bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Martin to be able to run down Labonte. He closed in on him, but he's still a little too far behind, and he's not close enough to draft, so Bobby Labonte will hang on to the lead for even longer. And the bad news is here for Mark Martin, he's lost his drafting partner of Elliott Sadler. He's going to fall even further behind. "34 laps to go in the Pepsi 400. 44 laps to go, excuse me. Sadler coming right back. Looks like Kevin Harvick up there as well. Of course, Matt Kenseth is there. Big run for Sadler to the outside. The 6 of Martin's going to let him go. And he's going to be able to get to the outside, right behind Sadler. But it looks like he's going to be stuck to the outside, and Matt Kenseth's going to get underneath the 6. Martin to draft behind his teammate. Kenseth running that outside lane now. Martin wants to touch the bottom. Clears Kenseth. He'll stay with the lead lap car of Sadler. It'll probably be better off for him that way anyway. I mean, they didn't lose too much time from Bobby Labonte. They can definitely draft their way up there. I wouldn't say Bobby Labonte winning at Daytona would be an upset considering he's a former champion, but at the same time, when you consider the program he's racing for in the 2006 season in his first year with Richard Petty Motorsports, that you would have to imagine that something great could happen here. He's got 2 Fords running him down. .41 laps to go now at the line. Halfway out of gas at this point in the run. Labonte up on the outside. Mark Martin's still going to stay with Sadler for right now. Didn't feel he was quite close enough to be able to make the move. Make sure he stays with the 38, doesn't allow for Sadler to pull away from him. Not going to happen there. And here's the run for Martin, looking to the inside of Elliott Sadler. And he has the second place position as he squeezes Sadler up into the wall. Got a little tight getting into 3 with carrying so much speed, and both cars make contact with the wall, and Labonte's going to be able to pull away still. Unbelievable. I mean, Martin's so close to hanging on to Bobby Labonte. I don't think he's going to be able to. Maybe made the move a little too early, but definitely pulled up too early. Easy Network, thanks for tuning in. Nice drive. I think that was a little bit of sarcasm there. That was not good. I will say he did turn us earlier, or tried to. So if there was a driver I could have crowded into the wall, I'm glad it was Sadler. He's the whole reason Bobby Labonte's even out in the lead like he is right now anyway. And now Labonte's out to a 1.3 second advantage again. I'd like to work with Biffle if he can get by the 38. Still dealing with the 29. Sadler underneath the 6. Martin gonna stay wide. Sadler clear. Big charge by Biffle and Kenseth on the bottom underneath Harvick, but they can't get to the inside of the 6. Martin to stay with Sadler anyway in the middle groove through 3 and 4. Labonte still up on the outside, Biffle down on the bottom. I don't think Labonte's got a fast enough car to really stay out there in front of these guys. Be sure to hit that like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Martin leaving that bottom open in case Biffle had his rear bumper there. I don't think he did though. 37 laps to go this time by. And again, everybody still has to pit one more time. We are within the field window to make it to the end. Well, actually, once we get to 35 laps to go, we'll be within the field window to make it to the end. Some drivers may be able to push it this far, but I don't think Mark Martin could yet. Martin's got to be sure when he pulls out a line on Sadler, it's not going to be too early this time. Biffle to the inside of the 6. The 6 having to stay wide, gets a nice run, and he's going to sit in line behind Sadler. He's not going to go for it that first opportunity. Martin stays right there. 43 now up on the outside. You can see Sadler getting a draft behind him. Biffle went back to the bottom that time. Trying to get some of that ground back. The tri-oval again, just staying behind Sadler. End of the front stretch, Sadler with a big-time block as he stays down in front of the 6, and Sadler's going to go for the lead instead. Can he get underneath the 43? Biffle was there underneath the 6 of Martin. Martin crowded him, but there was no contact. Biffle stayed too low on the back straightaway, though, and he loses Mark Martin again. Martin getting tight behind the 38. 4 cars under a blanket in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Now down to 35 laps to go at the line. The 43, the 38 checking up with Denny Hamlin coming up the way. And it's going to be Martin to the lead. Thank you, Denny Hamlin. Martin out in front at Daytona. They split around Hamlin 3 wide. Denny staying up near the wall. Martin getting way out ahead of the pack now. Sadler looking to make a move. 34 to go at the line. Big blocks back and forth there in the front stretch by Martin. Again, the story of this race is Mark Martin trying to go for the Daytona sweep. Sadler back to the lead. Blew by Martin on the outside. Got the 169 just up ahead. And there's another run by Mark Martin to get back to the lead again. Sadler picked behind the 169 car. Harvick will get to second. Biffle to third. 33 to go at the line. Martin didn't get too far out ahead of the pack that time. Like Labonte got up to fourth. I think Sadler fell to fifth place. Trying to get to the outside of the 43 car. Not going to happen there. A lot of smoke in turns 1 and 2, by the way. No caution came out. Still sitting at 5 cautions on the race. Martin staying wide. Somebody just got underneath him. It was Bobby Labonte. Labonte rocketed past the 16 and the 29 and got to the lead on his own. Now Martin's 3 wide middle. And still 3 wide middle as they get into the corner. Oh man, he had Biffle clear. He made contact with Harvick though, and that forced him backwards. Like Kenseth and Biffle got together off of turn 4. Runs are huge. Yeah, they are. "31 laps left this time by for Bobby Labonte, who leads. Harvick second. Elliott Sadler In third, here comes Martin. Got a Dodge, 2 Fords, and a Chevy up in contention here. Labonte able to pull down to the bottom and block Martin off. Martin cleared the 38. Almost cleared the 29, but not quite. Off turn 2, he's going to be clear now. Moving to the outside, and we'll see if Martin can make the run on his own this time for the lead. He's going for it. 30 to go this time by at the start-finish line, and the 6 of Mark Martin back out in front again as he clears the 43 car of Bobby Labonte in the middle of 3 and 4. And Sadler to second. If I had to pick who has the fastest car in the field today, I'd probably say it's Elliott Sadler. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he has led the most laps. Well, there's quite a few drivers that I could probably say have led the most laps or have been very close to it. I don't think we're quite there yet. There's enough laps left in this race. If we can just stay in the lead long enough, we might be able to get the 10 bonus points. I wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be 3 wide going into the corner. Had to pick the top or the bottom, picks the bottom. Labonte going to get back to the outside. Sadler's going to come into the pits, which is going to kind of ditch the 6. And that might be enough to allow Labonte to get to the lead. No, it was not. Martin actually stayed out in front of the 43 and cleared him at the start-finish line again. 29 laps to go. We've had 2 cautions in the middle of green flag pit stops today, and we are in the middle of green flag pit stops once again. Labonte to the inside, slingshots by Mark Martin for the lead. Again, definitely within that fuel window to make it to the end of this race. Martin on the inside of Labonte through the tri-oval. Couldn't clear him. And again, Labonte holds on. Trying to stay in the draft behind Labonte as he cuts to the bottom. Labonte will be pitting this time. I will surrender the lead back to Mark Martin. Kenseth again is a lap down. Kevin Harvick on the outside of the racetrack. And he actually gets by the 6. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it, but he did. Harvick to the lead and leads that lap at the line. Martin trying to stay in the draft on the outside again, not going to be able to. Now Mark Martin's going to go fuel only on this next stop. Just going to look for track position. Gonna stay out one more lap. We will pit the next time by. Man, a lot of wall scrapes here in the late going for Martin. The car's been very tight in traffic all day today. Big run again here for the 6 of Martin to the inside of Kevin Harvick for the lead. 25 laps to go this time by. Martin's going to have to make sure he stays on the bottom lane. Goes to the top to block Harvick, trying to get another run on Harvick. Block his teammate, Matt Kenseth, off instead there. Now blocks the 17 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Kenseth, Biffle coming in. So is Mark Martin. Trying to get all he can. Can't speed. 70 miles per hour is a pit road speed limit. Locked the tires up quite a bit there, but still going to go fuel only. And it will be enough to make it to the end. Splash and go, and we will see if this can win the race. Tighten the car up. The car is actually more on the tighter side than the looser side. But I'm hoping just keeping the tires on it will free it up a little bit. Harvick staying out at least one more lap. Elliott Sadler was the first of the leaders to pit. I'm just kind of curious as to where he will be. No caution in the middle of green flag stops to this point. Harvick's still out on the racetrack and has to make his final stop. Coming up on 20, technically 24 to go right now for Harvick. All of our Roush teammates that are on pit road still are getting up to speed. McMurray just came in that last lap. Remember, he's on the lead lap yet, so is Biffle. Haven't seen McMurray up in contention for a while, though. Won a couple races off pit road with a few cautions that we have had in today's race. Kevin Harvick on his way into the pits. There's McMurray. That's a spot. Should be able to cycle out ahead of Kevin Harvick. Top three are all on pit road right now. If you're just tuning in for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button on the stream. We're up to 20, or down to 23 laps to go in our Pepsi 400 at Daytona. There are J.J. Yaley, Jeff Burton, both on the lead lap, and now Kevin Harvick still getting up to speed on the bottom of the track in 1 and 2. It's a good thing we went fuel only. Harvick with a ridiculously fast stop, but it's Martin who will get to the lead on the backstretch, which we expected to happen. It's going to be a minute here before Harvick and the rest of those cars start to try to reel in Mark Martin. A 1.7 second lead at the start-finish line, down to 1.6 now quickly. 0.5 into turn 1, 2/10 gain, second half of that front stretch. Well, this is for a win at, well, probably the more well-known racetrack on the NASCAR schedule. Prestigious to win here, whether it's the 500, no matter what series it is, even if it's not in Cup. And Mark Martin to get 2 wins at Daytona in 1 season be something just a few drivers have had on their resume in years past. Mark Martin winning his first career Daytona 500 earlier in the season, and now trying to win the Pepsi 400 in the same year. We're down to 21 laps to go. Bobby Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler, they've all drafted back to Martin. Martin made a good first block on the 29 of Harvick. The race is on. Nobody is going to want to give this lead up. Going to block Labonte. Oh, Harvick was already there. Big block. Nearly gone wrong. I saw Sadler in the rear view, but it looked like the 29 was in our blind spot there. I didn't even know he was there. Crew chief said inside, which I heard him, but I saw the 38. I didn't see the 29, so I was assuming he was talking about the 38 car. He was not. And Labonte got underneath Harvick. Harvick wanted to make sure he wasn't going to cut him off like he did with Harvick. Risked turning himself. Bonnie blocking Martin all the way to the outside. Coming up on 19 laps to go this time by. Definitely going to catch those slower cars one more time in this race, maybe twice. Jeremy Lane in the 169, and then, of course, Denny Hamlin in the 11. 19 to go. Martin leans on the 43. Well, Greg Biffle's still up there in contention. Gets to the inside of Sadler for third. Following his teammate, Mark Martin, and maybe the two teammates can work together to get one of these two to victory lane. Biffle still in search for his first win of the season. Still top 10 in points coming into this one. 18 laps to go in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Big run and momentum building for Mark Martin. Kind of stalling out a little bit in the center of the corner, looking to get that run back on the back straightaway again. Sadler crisscrossed into the inside of Biffle again for third. They're holding each other up a little bit. No help needed for Mark Martin as he has the run on his own to the inside of Bobby Labonte. Takes the lead into turn 3, pulls high, and clear. Mark Martin back out in front, another lead change. Car down in the grass, blowing up, trying to get to pit road. We stay green, no caution. 5 yellows in the race. It has been probably 60 laps roughly since the last... Actually, no, never mind. We restarted with 55 to go, so... It has been a minute. We are nearing the longest green flag run of the day. Or at least very close to it. We'll go to the far chase cam for the rest of this one. Labonte on the outside. Oh, he got in the wall! Labonte scrapes the wall just a little bit, but Sadler's still going to help keep the push. And the Biff is going to let his teammate Mark Martin in the outside before Martin gets brake trained as he falls to third. Trying to side draft on Sadler, couldn't get around him. Bobby Labonte looking strong here in the closing stretches. Another run for Martin. Gets to the inside of the 38, and he's up to second again. And those two slow cars will be coming up probably this lap in turns 3 and 4, maybe even on the back straightaway. Martin on the inside line, and he is going to get by the 43 car of Bobby Labonte. He'll check up. Harvick staying low. He's going to try to use the pick and get the second underneath. And Labonte still stuck behind Harvick to P2. Martin's got a little bit of daylight. Metaphorically, of course, this is a night race. 15 to go. And Harvick's coming with a run. Lap car, Matt Kenseth is there. Imagine he's going to help Martin considering he's a lap down. I'm sure he'd like to get back on the lead lap in case we saw a late caution. There's not many cars on the lead lap, so maybe he will try to go hard. Martin up to block the 29. Got a little loose and up against the wall. This could be another where did he come from for Harvick. It could be. I mean, he's been in contention the whole race. I'd probably throw him up there with Sadler as one of the faster cars in this one. Nobody's been able to just get by and take off, though. Oh, wow, Labonte to the top side. Here comes Hamlin. In the middle of the corner. This could be treacherous. Labonte's going to try to use Hamlin as a pick. Hamlin moves up in front of the 43 instead. And Mark Martin holds on. Sadler gets by Harvick somehow on the outside, then cuts to the bottom to get by Labonte on the backstretch, using Hamlin as a pick as well. 13 laps to go at the start-finish line around the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway. And Mark Martin leads the race again. Older tires after going fuel only, so we will see. That track position strategy call will work itself out. It's definitely more free now than what it was before, which is what I was kind of hoping for, because we've been a little on the loose side. Might have a chance to make some moves to block with a looser car. And will we stay green to the end of this race as well? Because the restarts have not been good for Mark Martin today, and that doesn't matter whether he's been leading or not leading. But I guess if we were to get a caution, he would want to be the leader. Better chance of trying to hold on. Drifted off the bottom lane just a bit, but Harvick right there couldn't get to the inside of the 6. He clears Sadler. Now he'll go to the outside. Martin to block. 12 to go. And Sadler to the inside lane. The 38 of Elliott Sadler will take the M&Ms forward to the lead in turns 1 and 2. And Martin getting freight trained by all those cars. He's got no teammate directly there. J.J. Yaley out of nowhere is in the mix as he's up to 5th in contention. Martin just trying to stay with the leaders. Harvick underneath Sadler for the lead. Bobby Labonte got to work with him. Martin pushing the 43. Right front tire wearing out quite a bit on the 6. Labonte trying to block Mark Martin. Martin going to get underneath the 43. First time we've seen J.J. Yaley anywhere near the front of the field today. Martin with a run outside of the 38. Got into him. Oh, a little wall scrape there by Martin. 11 to go. He still gets by Kevin Harvick, or by Elliott Sadler. Now going for the lead under Harvick. No out of bounds. Got to the bottom of the track, but he couldn't clear the 29. Sadler to the inside. Oh my goodness. Edge of your seat action at Daytona. 10 laps to go. Kevin Harvick leads. Martin with a run on the back straightaway. 195 miles an hour into turn 3 as he clears Elliott Sadler for second. 9 to go at the line. And now looking to mount up a charge. Labonte to the inside of Sadler for third. Martin's got a run on Harvick to the inside. Can he clear the 29? He's close. Oh, barely clear. Harvick might have scraped the wall, which allowed for the 6 to get in line. Super speedway racing at its finest. Oh, man. Are we going to be 3? 3 wide for the lead. They're bouncing off one another. Getting pinballed between Harvick and Labonte. And Mark Martin still holds on. Oh my goodness. How do they not wreck? Martin again underneath the 29 car. Oh, they make more contact. Good grief. There's no way we're going to make it to the end of this race without a wreck. My car is so loose as it is on these older tires. It freed up maybe a little too much for my liking to this point, and every bit of contact I feel like I'm going to lose control. let alone all the other cars keeping control somehow. Down the home stretch. Closing laps of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Mark Martin slingshots by Kevin Harvick. And we have 6 laps to go. So many lead changes. What a race it has been. And it ain't over yet. No cautions on the final lap if we did see a wreck on the last lap. Harvick gets cleared by Labonte. Greg Biffle back up here again. Martin a little loose getting into turn 1. Slides up the racetrack as he tries to block the 43. Back to the bottom, the 16 to the inside of Labonte now. And back to the outside again goes Martin to block the 43, and here comes the 38. Biffle down in front of Sadler. And they're catching the 169 car again. Martin has to go to the outside, staying in the gas. Drifting wide, gets by him. Labonte will get by quickly to the top lane, as well as Harvick. Biffle got stuck, as well as Sadler. 5 laps to go at Daytona. And they'll probably catch Denny Hamlin before the end of this race as well. And that would be the last lap car. Harvick to the inside of Labonte for second. Martin to block the 29 to the bottom. Runs coming from both sides of the racetrack. Oh, we've definitely got a thriller down the stretch tonight. This is going to be a close one. Harvick. Oh, we got trouble in front of us. All right, they're far enough ahead. That scared me. Oh, we did not need that. As if our hearts weren't pounding enough. I think Hamlin held up a couple other lap cars. And the pack is coming on strong. Hamlin is holding them up. Oh, this is going to get dicey. Martin gets by Hamlin and the 105. That's an extra pit car in play. Harvick gets by as he follows the 6. Not quite close enough to draft off either Kyle Petty or Reed Sorensen just up ahead. Martin's trying, but on his older tires, I don't think he's going to have enough help to be able to do it. And Harvick's definitely not going to help him get up there. He's going to try to take the lead for himself and win this race. We're not going to catch Lane or Hamlin again. Sorensen and Petty are going to be in the way. 3 to go. Lap car down on the bottom of the racetrack as well. Sorensen gets up against the wall. 3 wide. Nearly. Harvick took a peek to the inside. The lap car, the 178, might have held Harvick up just a little bit. Or at least he checked up. Oh no. Sadler drafting with Sorensen. Sadler drafts by the 6 of Martin. He used the lap car of Sorensen to get by him. Martin has to keep up with the 38, and he's losing him. Look out, look out, look out. 3 wide. Sorensen got in the way of Mark Martin on multiple occasions. And now Harvick trying to run down Elliott Sadler in the closing laps. Mark Martin trying to draft behind Harvick. It's going to be tough to win this thing from 3rd, but we'll see. 1 lap to go at the line. Yaley's up to 4th. He's behind Mark. Last lap to get it done. Martin's got to run. He gets to the inside of Harvick. Can he actually get underneath Elliott Sadler? 2. He gets underneath him. Harvick going to go with the 6. Oh, he's got to run, but I don't think he's going to be able to clear Sadler. Oh, he was so close. Extremely close there. Got another chance at it. Maybe not. Nope. That hit in the wall ain't going to be enough. Harvick may get to Sadler's back bumper. It was a close call, but it wasn't enough. And Elliott Sadler will win the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Oh, man. We gave it a run. We gave that one a run. Just got too tight. I was stuck on the outside. We got underneath Sadler 1 and 2. I couldn't clear him. Harvick went with us. He tried to help, but just ran out of time. Didn't have enough grip to stay underneath the 38. And I thought my best chance was to get back in line behind him, but Harvick was still underneath us on the back stretch, so I wasn't able to get out of the side draft and just couldn't get another run. And Elliott Sadler wins. Great race, though. Good to see that end under green, too. There were a lot of sketchy moments in those last 10 laps, but made it through, and Sadler gets his second win of the season. Leads 29 laps as well. Kevin Harvick leads 27 laps, finishes second. Mark Martin finishes third, and we actually led the most laps with 39 laps led, so that's 10 bonus points. I did not think we had a chance to get the most laps led, but very close. Bobby Labonte led 23. Yaley finishes fourth without leading the lap. He was up there late out of nowhere. Our teammate Jamie McMurray finishes in sixth with 3 laps led. Our other teammate Greg Biffle finishes seventh with 4 laps led. Dale Jarrett ends up finishing in 8th place. Jeff Burton 9th after getting into a wreck early. And Kyle Busch in the 5 ends up rounding out the top 10. And we only had 11 cars finish on the lead lap. Kenseth led 23 as well. Trying to see how many laps we led the most by. It looks like... Yeah, so as far as the most laps led, we had 39. I think the next closest would have been the leaders ahead of us of Harvick and Sadler. So we only led the most laps by 10 over Sadler, which I'm even surprised it was that much because I didn't feel like I led that many laps in the race, but I guess I did. As far as the drivers that DNF'd, Rich Abbott, Paul Menard, Dave Blaney, this Payne guy, I think that was the 169 car, then Denny Hamlin. Obviously down a cylinder as well there. And that is going to wrap up this race. Just the 3 DNFs then, technically. 10th of a second margin of victory for Sadler over Harvick. 52 lead changes tonight, 5 cautions. I believe it. There are a ton of lead changes. 149.47 miles per hour was the average race speed, and total race time 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 33 seconds. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Awesome night of racing. We have more to come. It's Daytona race weekend for NASCAR, hence the reason why we did this Daytona race tonight on NASCAR 07. Tomorrow, we've got live commentary for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Our coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then also before that, we'll have a Throwback Thursday live stream where we will rewatch the 2001 Pepsi 400 from Daytona as well. So again, kicking off our Daytona race weekend on the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in here on a Thursday evening. And if you didn't catch this race, I highly recommend catching it here to the end. And thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you back and better than ever tomorrow for the doubleheader.